and I want to thank the Secretary for being here to discuss these very important issues. We agree there's a problem here. Good jobs are going unfilled, and millions of Americans need jobs or need to move up in the better jobs from the one they have. The labor participation rate is something that we all ought to be alarmed about in America. 2015 report by the Manufacturing Institute estimated that over the next decade, 2 million manufacturing jobs in this country could go unfilled due to the skills gap. Right now, in the smallest geographic region of the country, New England, there are 18,000 precision manufacturing jobs that go unanswered. The New England Council has put this results along with Deloitte in front and center. In a time when we're trying to compete in the global economy and families across the country are trying to reach and stay in the middle class, we can't afford that. Here's where we don't agree. President Trump's recent executive order seems premised on the belief that we have a jobs gap because people don't want jobs. Well, I'm former mayor of a big city. I can tell you that is simply untrue. And his solution is to cut off benefits to motivate them to work, like food, housing, and health care, or benefits they use to buy school supplies or just maybe put gasoline in their cars. I believe if you offer people real opportunities, they'll take them. If given a choice between a good job and something else, people will always take the good job because they want a better life for themselves and their families. So if people aren't filling those job openings, it's not because they don't want to, it's because in some measures they can't. They need to be better prepared. Technology, globalization, the gig economy, and opiate addiction is fundamentally altering the workplace. Our jobs gap is certainly, in some measure, partially a skills gap. Many workers don't have the right skills for some of the best jobs our economy is currently producing. If we have Americans upgrade their skills, those open jobs will become opportunities, and I anticipate people would take them. We know how to help people upgrade their skills: registered apprenticeships, community colleges, career pathway programs that combine work, training, and supports like child care. All of these things can help people learn skills and lead to better jobs in the future. Last year, the President proposed cutting our main employment and training services programs by 40%. And this year, even after the Bipartisan Budget Act made far more money available, all the administration did was agree to continue job training at the current level, which is barely half of what Congress has authorized, again, on a bipartisan basis. They proposed cutting trade adjustment assistance funding to help trade-displaced workers go to community colleges and to learn new skills. And we read in the newspaper that the administration is quietly working on a plan to cut the worker support funding that we just approved and is provided for in the Omnibus Appropriations Bill. Our committee doesn't have jurisdiction over the main job training programs, but we do oversee the Temporary Assistance for Needy Families program, which is supposed to help people move from welfare to work and to get families out of poverty. In the past, Republicans on the committee have strongly opposed common sense efforts to help parents receiving TANF participation in fields like education and training that would lead to good jobs. I hope they will reconsider that position, and our recent bipartisan work on the committee to authorize and fund reemployment services shows how much we can accomplish when we invest in workers. At the same time as we invest in worker skills, we should be asking employers what they're doing about the jobs gap. Basic economics says that when employers don't get the quality of job applicants they are looking for and markets tighten, the answer usually is to raise wages. So why are wages still stagnant even after employers got a windfall in the Republican tax bill? According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the average American saw an increase of just $6.21 a week during the 3 months after the tax bill, far below the $4,000 a year we were told and the President reinforced. We've already seen some of these corporations and noticed how the windfall is largely going to types like Wall Street rather than Main Street. There's a real problem here, and there's a real solution. Instead of adding $2.3 trillion to our debt to provide the wealthy and big corporations with tax cuts, and then vilifying American workers who are trying to get ahead, we should fight to raise wages and invest in the skills that lead to these opportunities. And Mr. Secretary, I'm delighted you're here to talk about labor participation rates. And I would hope that the committee would focus on this as we go forward, understanding what really is happening across the country as old areas, some are being brought back to life, but many others are not. And I emphasize the changes that are taking place across New England with which I am most familiar. So thanks for being here, and thank you for the time, Mr. Chairman.